Hey, happy Thursday, everyone. Mary Czarnecki here. Wanted to jump on today and share a story. Usually I jump on Thursdays and give you guys a little marketing hack, a little marketing tip. But the thing is, a lot of the entrepreneurs that I help struggle with this shiny object syndrome, listening to too many voices, following too many masters, and basically trying to be too many things. So I wanted to share a story of how I have found some success and clarity when it comes to that, so that maybe you can avoid some of the landmines that I had to step on along my entrepreneurial journey. So if you have not joined me for any of my Facebook Lives before, or you're new to my community, welcome. I'm super excited to have you here in my little online space. I'm Mary, and I am a marketing strategist and business consultant. I've spent the past 20 years helping brands connect with their audiences, craft their irresistible offers, and build their audiences online. So today's story is all about having too many voices in your head and needing to shush some of them. So those of you guys with kids know that sometimes the shush needs to happen. So my entrepreneurial journey started about 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. And it was actually in more of the product space. So now I am specifically focused on serving my clients through my coaching and consulting services. But back then I was actually really interested in physical products. And in fact, I started my own line of handmade baby items, and I had started an Etsy shop, and then that expanded into being interested in Amazon FBA. So I started an Amazon store and a private label brand and all of these different things. So I was pursuing all of these different business models at the same time as working full time and raising a brand newborn and a toddler, right? So I was listening to all of these different experts in online entrepreneurship and e-commerce and all of these different topics, right? And of course, the more people you listen to, the more tips and tricks you get, more different strategies you kind of pull into your toolbox, right? But the problem is I wasn't listening to just one or two. I was overwhelmed by the information because I was so excited about the information. I was so excited about everything I was learning. I was trying to just consume it all. And so the thing is, I got more and more excited about more and more different ideas, and I followed too many paths all at the same time. So unfortunately, it was one of those things where even though I actually did build a highly successful online e-commerce business, for me, it didn't feel fulfilling because I felt like I was working so hard to do it because I was following all these different strategies. I was doing too much and basically wearing myself out. So what I realized most recently is that, really by recently, I mean the past 6 to 10 months, is that the online e-commerce space, even though it was a profitable business for me, it wasn't where my heart was at. What I found was that the clients I was taking on, working with me one-on-one or in a small group setting to help them with their marketing strategy using my 20 years of experience in corporate marketing, was really where it was lighting me up. The selling the products to consumers or customers wasn't bringing me as much joy. So I realized that I had to make the decision for myself to say goodbye to a phase of my business and really focus on a different phase of my business. So that was my one bit of advice for you, is look at the elements of your business or things that you're spending your time on and figure out really what is lighting you up and figure out how you can do more of that in your business. So that's tip number one. So the other part of this story is that as I was building both my service-based business and my e-commerce business, like I said, I was listening to a lot of different ideas, a lot of different gurus, a lot of different experts. Now, here's the thing. Any of you who have ever tried a diet before know that any given diet can probably work, right? However, there's a couple different things that you have to take into account. Which diet is right for you, your body, your physiology, your body chemistry, and your lifestyle. And you can't hop around between diets during the day, right? You can't be keto in the morning and then high carb at lunch and then, metafast at night, right? You can't jump around. You have to pick a system and follow it, because otherwise, basically, you're not following a system at all, right? So my problem was I was trying to do too many systems all at the same time and listening to too many voices in my head. Any one of those given voices were great, and they knew what they were talking about. However, you can't mix and match. I couldn't mix and match. So what I found is I was trying to implement so many different things at the same time that my energy was split. So for those of you guys who are a little more woo, you guys know I'm a little woo, little gangster. But those of you who are a little more woo might say that, well, your energy was divided, right? So you couldn't funnel your energy all into one effort, right? So my energy was divided. So what I've found is that for me, my epiphany came when I started to limit those voices. So certain coaching relationships ended, certain courses, I just accepted the fact that this was not the time to consume that information, and I put them aside. So for me, I've really narrowed the voices that I'm listening to, the people I'm working with, the courses I'm consuming, and I've also taken an approach to looking at strategically what kind of content and information do I need right now. So I was always forward thinking. I was always thinking, okay, well, I'm going to need that information at this point in the future. So I should just make sure I trap it now, kind of catalog it now and put it into my file. But the problem with that was I was overwhelming my mind, my body, my energy, my space, my hard drive with all of this content that I was going to use down the road. Whereas what I needed in the moment was I needed my strategic guidance system. I needed that plan, that guidance system that was going to basically set the path, the trajectory for my rocket, my success rocket at that moment, right? I didn't need to figure out all the answers to the problems that were going to come down the road. I needed to figure out my strategic plan for now. And so that is what I've really embraced over the past 6 to 10 months, and it has served me wonderfully. So for me, that is my tip, and my hope for you guys is that you get to this point where you become clear on what your own internal strategic guidance system is. What do you need right now in your business to get to the next step? Not the step 15, 20 steps down the road. What do you need now to get you from where you are today to where you need to be next month? And how many people do you really need to consult or listen to have that success, to get to that next step? So that's my advice for you guys today. My story of listening to too many people, trying too many things, splitting my focus and not succeeding, and having this realization that to get to where I wanted to go, which was to find more fulfillment in the actual business I was building, I need to pick the business to match what I wanted to feel, right? And I also needed to limit the amount of information and the number of voices in my head that I was allowing to kind of also take my energy so that I could focus more clearly. So pick one diet at a time, essentially, one business diet. So that's my lesson for you guys today. If you have a similar story, I would love to hear it. Please leave me a comment. I want to hear about your experience, where you are in your journey. I look forward to seeing you on the next training next week. Hope you're doing well. Have a great weekend. Cheers.